All right, ready to go. All right, so I'm here with Henare, right? That's how you pronounce it, right? Henare?
Henare. Henare. So
Henare.
very, if you pronounce it like a Spanish person pronounces it, it's the
Yeah.
same. Henare.
Same, Henare. Okay, so let's start with that actually. How did that came to be that name, Henare?
Oh, that's my real name,
Oh, so it
actually.
is?
Yes, it's my family's real name. But on my passport, it's Henry, so it's in English. So back in the day, Maori people in New Zealand would
Uh-huh.
switch to more English, so they're more accepted by
By the
the
people.
British, by the people. Yeah, and things like getting into school, getting into university, it's a lot easier to see Henry than it is to see Henare. So coming to New Japan, I wanted that chance to reclaim that name, so that's what I did.
It's very unique. I've never heard of it before, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
In Spanish, it'll be the equivalent of Enrique.
I
Enrique.
think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Enrique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heinrich in German. Yeah, it's just a name. It doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah.
just a name.
It's just different meanings in every language.
Yeah.
All right. So, where are you from? For people who don't know.
I'm Maori from New Zealand, or Aotearoa as we call it.
Aotearoa.
Within New Zealand, people don't really say New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
It's really only foreigners that call it New Zealand. Similar to how a German would call it Deutschland, not Germany. Like you never hear a German guy say Germany.
No. It's like España. Nobody from.
Yeah.
No one's gonna
Yeah.
say Spain or like Japan. Everyone says Nihon right
Nihon,
here.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's all just cultural nuances, man. Nobody means any offense by saying it.
Okay. So no one will get offended.
Nah,
Okay,
man.
okay.
But it means land of the long white cloud, and it just goes back to the people who first discovered New Zealand. They saw a big volcanic cloud over New Zealand. They're like, oh, so it's the place with a long white cloud. So that's what it means.
So how did this journey begin for you? Like being a wrestler. Where did it all start?
Damn, it's like every Kiwi kid, every kid in New Zealand and Australia, we had SmackDown Raw and Monday Night Nitro, but we had it like a couple months after the United States. So every Friday, Saturday night, you and your cousins would watch wrestling. It was just the thing to do in the 90s. Like it was, I mean, it was booming. It was the Attitude Era, or just
definitely.
prior to the Attitude Era, and wrestling was booming. So I loved wrestling ever since then. And then throughout school, I started amateur wrestling, like
Amateur
freestyle,
wrestling, okay.
Greco-Roman. And then just from there, like loved MMA. And then a Japanese friend of mine from my wrestling club, he's like, hey man, have you seen this Japanese wrestling? He's like, nah. So I watched it and I was like, holy crap, they're kicking the crap out of each other. They're like actually like applying holds. And then that's where my love for New Japan and the dojo and this whole
As you can see,
strong
New
style,
Japan.
yeah. I shouldn't be wearing this because I'm United Empire, but I grew up in the dojo, man. That's how I came up. I'm not
You
like
brought
a
up in the
yeah.
dojo,
I
yeah.
didn't come through the indies like a lot of other foreign guys. I was the last foreigner to come through the tryout.
No way.
Yeah, so from the amateur and the MMA, I started training with Fale. I met
Okay.
Fale, and he was the one that
Big
sort
guy.
of gave me the shot to come to the New Japan dojo. He pitched my name for the tryout, and I was the last guy to get through the tryout, last foreign guy.
West foreign guy.
So they're still doing it, man, and it's amazing that over 50 years that they've kept the tradition of you try out, you do the dojo, you do the squats, you do the cooking, you do the cleaning, and we're just 5 minutes away from the dojo,
Yeah.
you know.
As you can see in the background.
Yeah.
Wow, so it was like a whole process basically, right?
So up until now, it's been about 10 years. So I started training this week, 10 years ago, to get to the tryout, and then the tryout was in December. And then there was 1 year of waiting because they want to see, does this guy want it? Does this guy start? I kept like pestering them, and then they're like, fine, come. To 2016, I started at the dojo, and it's been a wild ride ever since, man.
Okay. And elaborate, how was the training and everything? Was it super tough? It probably was. It was probably extreme, right?
Yeah, the way all the old boys talk about it, it's not an exaggeration, man. They hammer you, and it's sort of like, it's not that they're trying to bully you. It's not that they're trying to, like, this guy's weak, he's going to give up. It's more like, show me how much you want to live this life. Like, are you willing to do 1,000 squats a day? Are you willing to do the 200 push-ups in the morning? Are you willing to run up and down this river all day? And the people that show that they're willing and ready to do that, they're the people you see in the ring now. And the people that aren't willing, nobody has heard of them before. So it's sort of like the trade-off.
So
the
you're
trade-off.
one of those that came out on top.
Yeah, man. I mean, the American boys and the British boys, they sort of, when they talk about the dojo, they say, "Oh, it's so hard. I don't like it." But to be honest, man, I grew up poor my whole life, and coming to the dojo, you don't have to worry about paying for rent. You don't have to worry
it's a
about paying for
privilege.
food. I'm like, you don't have to worry about paying for the gym. I was like, man, I'm lucky. Like I scored gold with this. I don't need to worry about anything. Whereas everybody else is like, oh man, we have to wake up and do the squats and we have to clean. It was me like, you don't see many people that keep going to the dojo after they're finished, but I'm one of those crazy guys.
Oh wow!
I love it, man.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I go all every day, man.
Yeah. And so when you started in New Japan, like your first matches, was it tough to adapt and everything?
Yeah, because I had a few matches in New Zealand. I was quite experienced in the New Zealand scene, but coming to my debut match here, like the nerves, it's just a whole different ball game. Going up against another foreigner was my debut match, Quiet Storm. It was in Noah. They did like a crossover show. And that guy legit knocked me out, man, like clotheslined me like on my chin. I've never been hit in the chin. Usually they sort of hit me across the neck or chest, but he got me right there. And
he gave it to you rough, but
yeah, man. Yeah. But it was like I wouldn't go so far to say it was a hazing, but it was sort of like welcome to the business, kid. Sort of thing, yeah.
And for people who don't know, Noah is another promotion here in Japan. It's a big promotion, in New Japan, and they always do some stuff together.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing in Japan that they've got All Japan, Noah, Glate, New Japan, all of these companies all work together. They're in like a wrestling union now, so it's like they're all just doing what's best for the scene rather than what a lot of independent companies do and like try and make it all about me and make it all about the money. So it's quite cool to see, man. I'd love to apply that to other places in the world.
Definitely. That's a good thing because I feel like people need to really help each other out more often. So, yeah.
Especially in such a niche thing compared to like something like soccer or MMA. It's like our best bet is to all work together, you know.
Yeah. And how long has it been since you wrestled out here?
Was it 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, so this will be my 9th year as a full-time pro. So.
And you're how old now?
31.
31,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so 22 is when I came
Still
for the...
pretty young, yeah.
I mean, age-wise I'm young, but the amount of matches I've done, I'm probably the most active wrestler. I mean, before my injury, as you can see here, you can't see my fingers, can't move, but I was probably the most... Shingo Takagi and myself had more matches than anybody else in New Japan.
So you're like a workhorse pretty much out here.
So now I'm finally getting some time off. It's good. It's good finally. Yokata.
So now you're currently in United Empire, right?
Yes, sir.
For now. As we release this, hopefully you're still in the group or whatever.
Who you been talking to, man?
Hopefully. So how did that came to be? Well, actually, let's start before. Before you were in that group, what were you doing?
Oh, man, I was just... I've said it before in interviews, I was just Tanahashi's knee pad. Wow. I was just the guy that put with the older guys so they get an easy night off sort of thing. And there was me, like a young guy trying to prove myself. Yeah, man, I'll be in the ring 80% of the time. And then I just messed myself up. And then I realized, man, these guys are just giving the older guys a easy night off or an easy match practice, or something. Yeah. Not even practice, just like let them get through it. Like I understand why they do that because you know Tanahashi's the big star. He's injured. He's been wrestling for long, and let's use this young guy as much as they can. But I just got sick of it. And then Will Ospreay saw me get sick of it, and he saw the way I wrestle. He's like, this guy isn't a pushover. Like he knows how to work. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to put in a shift. But he was like, hey man, just after this New Japan Cup, just Ryogoku, come with me. And he gave me that opportunity, and I'd always be grateful for him. I tell him all the time, man, you saved my career. I don't even know if I'd keep wrestling after that point if you didn't help me out. So he's left New Japan at the moment. He's signed with AEW, but man, we still keep in touch. He's still, all the United Empire members are still talking. I don't see it as the leader has left. I see it as we're expanding. You know, we've got Aussie Open and Ospreay and AEW. TJ, he's wrestling in CMLL, he's wrestling in Japan,
Mexico,
and then guys like Jeff and I, we still go to the UK, and I'm trying to like expand more into New Zealand, Australia as well. So it's not a breakup, it's an expansion. So that's one thing that has been annoying me with the fans. Like, what's gonna happen? It's like you think we're gonna give up? We're too deep into this to give up, you know.
But, don't worry about the fans. They always change their mind.
Yeah, dude. And then you've got guys like Riddle, like just another crazy guy. But I was a fan of him in the UFC, and he joined. I was like, oh man, that's cool. I'm sad that I was injured. I couldn't make the Sapporo show, but
So it's a next man up type of thing, I guess.
Yeah, not even just a man. I see we're all leaders in our own different capacities, you know. So like Akira and TJ, they've been killing it in the juniors. I think TJ's stepping up to heavyweight. He's gonna have to put some pounds on, but he's someone that's a real good leader, like even behind the scenes, just like chilling out and image-wise as well. I was telling you about your fit. He's one of those kind of guys that thinks about that sort of stuff, like how to present yourself.
People perceiving
and,
you and everything.
And in the ring, he's just technically, I think him, Zach, and Brian are the 3 top technical guys in the world. So
yeah, definitely. So Tanahashi, let's get back to Tanahashi. Oh my God, how is he like?
I mean, he's a star, bro. He's just someone that's just universally, objectively cool. I mean, you could be a rapper and think he's cool. You could be a punk genre guy and you think he's cool. You could be an MMA fighter and think he's cool. And just the way he talks, he's like, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. I'm like, what? This guy's street as hell. But he's still like very well respected in Japan. Yes, there's a big story, I think, that made him famous in the first place. He got stabbed by an ex. And instead of going to the hospital, he rode his bike to the dojo. I'm like, but that's cool, man. Like, not cool that he got stabbed, but it's crazy that it happened. But like, he's so chill that instead of going to the hospital, he went to the dojo on his bike. I'm like, dude, everyone was like, go to the hospital, you're gonna die. But he's a cool guy, and he's been around for ages, man. And I remember when I got suspended from school, I went home, put on a pay-per-view, and it was TNA Final Resolution, and Tanahashi was on it. Guys like Lance Hoyt were on it. I think AJ was still there at that point.
AJ, some of the X Division guys,
the guns, machine guns as well. And then coming to New Japan and then wrestling with those, meeting guys like Sabin and talking to guys like Shelley and like being tag team partners with Tanahashi. I'm like, wow, this is surreal, man.
For a while too,
Yeah, dude. Well, I think it was 2 full years I was his tag team partner, and then but then injuries got in the way. You know, I ruptured my neck. Was almost paralyzed. Luckily, Japan has like a real good health system, so just right in there, right in the hospital.
Wow. So yeah, I've seen Tanahashi in person before, and wow, he has like when you see him come, he has like, I don't know, it's something when he walks in the room, it's like wow, aura.
He's got the aura, man. He's got that. We'd call it mana in New Zealand. He's got the mana. You just walked in, you're like, wow, this guy, he's a star. And he's just cool, and he's chill. He doesn't like, he's not one of those senpais that like beats up the kids for no reason. He's just like, he's just chill. He sticks to himself, and yeah, man. Well, the girls love him.
His hair.
yeah. He's just like he's what I think Goku would be in real life, you know.
Wow, really?
I know your channel likes. I'm still a basic Dragon Ball guy. So, yeah.
So Tanahashi, like, that was a crazy story that you told me about him getting stabbed. But oh my gosh, what has he taught you? Like, what's the first thing that is in your mind that is still in your mind that he taught you?
Take time, even in life. He said, it's your time. Stretch your time as much as you can. Like, whether that's right, like injury-wise, stretch and make your time as long as possible. Because look at how long he's been at the game, and he's still at the top of it. But even in the ring, like taking your time. A lot of like guys who are like fiery and young like me, we get in the ring and we're just like 100 miles an hour. Case in point is Nakashima Yuto. Yeah, he's another guy that came in the same as me, MMA background, shoot background, and then came in and just keeps getting injured. But I think that's the fighter in us makes us a lot more tense. So we're like a Vegeta type guy, you know. You know what Bear said to him? He's like, you need to chill out because that's what's holding you back. So Tanahashi sort of pulled me back in that. And even though I left tagging with him and I joined United Empire, I kept that lesson there. Like, oh, okay, take your time a bit more, chill out, breathe.
And then the next star that we're gonna talk about now is, we all know, we just mentioned him, Will Ospreay. How's it like being around Will Ospreay? And yeah, just tell me.
He's an absolute savant, man. And I don't mean that negatively. Like, he's the only person I've met where every breath he takes, he exhales professional wrestling. It's like he breathes in oxygen and he just breathes out professional wrestling. And you could be walking past this cone down there and he'll find a way to make that sell tickets to a wrestling show. It's like, he's like, man, you do Muay Thai? Why don't you just do more of that in the ring? And I'm like, because I'm an idiot. Like, why didn't I think about that? Like the step-up knees and stuff were all his. He was like, man, you like Nagata, right? Like, Nagata's one of my heroes growing up, like Greco-Roman wrestling and stuff. He was one of the first people I said, like, man, he does the rising knee. Why don't you do the rising knee? And now I've ripped the rising knee out, like in that won me my biggest matches with Ishii, with Shingo. It's just that one little tweak, and then things that the crowd could sort of like, oh wait, he's doing Nagata's knee. He does Muay Thai. Of course he'd do that in the match, but little subtle things like that. Will's used with guys like Callum Newman coming up, with me, with Oka, Great Okan, man, and he's pulled so many different guys, and like he went around the entire world. Like there's a part in like 2019, 2020, 2021 when he was just going everywhere in the world. So he came to New Zealand, and he picked up on my stuff. He went to America, he went to the UK, picked up the Akira. He met Akira there, Francesco Akira.
He's Italian, right? Yeah, Italian.
So he's Italian, and then he came to Japan, and at the time he was the only foreigner, Super Junior, that had a visa in Japan.
Who,
so
Francesco?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ospreay was like, Ospreay with his wrestling mastermind, he was like, got that guy. So it wasn't poaching because I don't think he was fully contracted, but it was the fact that Ospreay was aware of that, and he was aware of the spot that was opening in New Japan. So he's like got it right away. So whether it's in the ring, outside the ring, whether it's the image, I think the whole image of United Empire is real cool. Like at our shows, you see how many towels and stuff. We're a lot more popular here than I think we are overseas, but I think
maybe
Ospreay being in AEW is going to change that big, man.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully yes, but I think you guys are pretty good, recognizable wise in the States, I guess.
And the thing that I like about United Empire, and that I like of Will's selection of all of us, is that we don't really overlap each other. Yeah. All of us are we do our own, like, we have our own things. Like Jeff Cobb, you're not going to get a guy more powerful than that guy. He's an actual Olympian.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah. You're not going to get a guy like that has the experience as TJ.
Oh my God.
And then me, I like just striking, man. Striking's my thing. Striking and power. That's I think I do better than everybody else. And you got Akira's quickness. I think the closest guy would be Callum, which is Ospreay actually picked him up. I think he was 15 or 16 when they started trading together. Wow. Callum's someone that Will trained with. I think it was 15 and 16, and he's 21 now. He's not even been in a year yet, but he's like tearing it up, and he's like training everywhere. I think that guy's got a massive future ahead. He actually did the dojo as well. So last September Destruction Tour, he came in, and he just fit in like a glove, man. And, but also, he has fun. He does what Ospreay does in terms of how he relates to wrestling, and he just gets it. He calls it the tism because he's got some sort of I think he's ADHD or something. But I tell him, bro, I told Ospreay the same thing. That's a superpower that you have that I'll never have. Like the ability to switch ideas so much is like a superpower in wrestling.
I feel like most of those learning disabilities and all that, I think it's just all like little powers.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm a sociologist by trade, man, and I don't believe that they're detriments.
No, not at all.
It's just like with any personality trait, you got your good parts and your bad parts, but ADHD, I see every guy that's a successful wrestler has some sort of ADHD. Like, whether it's the ability to think of different moves to do all the time, like think of the stuff Ospreay does. Who would have thought about that?
Yeah. Or just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that was what I was thinking when it was him versus Kenny Omega. Then he started climbing up the scaffold. I'm like, oh my God. No. Yeah, all of us were sitting there like, oh my God. Yeah, man. But also, he's the best by far in the world. In my opinion, he's the best in the world right now.
Ospreay?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think the same. I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's true, man. Right now, recently, yes, for sure.
Yeah, man. But he's like, even outside of wrestling, he's one of the most generous people I've ever met. Like he'd be someone that if there's 10 people that need to eat, he'd be like, come in and feed everybody. He wouldn't expect anything in return. He's actually someone who taught me that karma does actually exist, because he took me out to dinner, spent $500 for no reason, and then a sponsor just walks in and was like, "Oh, I'll pay for your meal." I was like, "What the hell?"
You're like, "Yes, let's go."
No, but I'm definitely grateful for him, and he definitely saved my career.
For real?
Yeah, legit, man.
How?
Just I was going nowhere. I was just like ceiling, and he gave me that opportunity to just be yourself, man. Just do this.
He gave you the ball and you just shot your shot.
Yeah, I had an idea before, because the office wanted me to come to the ring with face paint and do the haka and stuff, but it was sort of disingenuous, so I wasn't really, my heart wasn't in it, and you could see it where the way I wrestled. It was just like I was holding back because I didn't want to put face paint on, because face paint in our culture is not what we do. We tattoo. So to me it was like, right? To me it was like I was painting my face, looking up at my ancestors, and they were looking down like, oh no, the hell are you doing? So but now that I got this, you see the career's increased, progressed a lot more, and I feel more comfortable in myself and my skin. Don't have to pretend to be someone else, you know.
So right now in New Japan, you feel like your authentic 100% self, right?
Yeah, even just my name, for example, Henare. Everyone's like, why is he capitalized with a single name? I'm like, oh, back in the day, Māori didn't have last names. We just had first names, you know. But yeah, I think to us, it's like we're not getting this so that we can accomplish things. It's like you're summoning your ancestors. So each line is an ancestor, by the way. So it's just like you're bringing them to your everyday life and they're helping you. So more chill, you know.
Can you elaborate more on that too? Like explain more about this whole thing.
It's called a mataora, which translates to living face. So it's just like the different meanings behind every different one. Mine specifically is a hammerhead.
Hammerhead.
A hammerhead shark. So it's like,
that's cool.
Yeah, in our culture, the hammerhead's like the warrior of the animal kingdom, because I don't know if you've been fishing and seen a hammerhead shark. Hammerhead sharks fight to the death, and like, and sort of that's what I bring. But it also symbolizes like going out and getting something, taking action, attacking the goals, and success and leading people. All of that. It's not just about the brutality and the warrior side of things. And then all the other lines are ancestors. So this will be about 800 years worth of ancestry, and we recite. We can recite our ancestry like 30, 40, 50 generations in the past, which is something not many people in the world do. But it's an ingrained part of our culture. Yeah. So if you ask my cousin, she could recite 120 generations back. But it's just like memorizing all the names.
I cannot complain about anything else in life now.
So when I try to speak to European people, oh, where are you from? They say their parents or their grandparents. I'm like, no, I mean like,
actually,
where like you French, Gaelic, or like that's how specific we are, because that's how like our mana, our aura comes from our ancestors and our culture. It's not about us. It's about you're just the last in the line of this big we call it Whakapapa. It sounds like a bad name, but it's a good name. Whakapapa. Genealogy. Bloodline for you wrestling fans. Bloodline. It means bloodline.
A little similar, I guess. A little. Wow, that's so
cool. So that's why you see with the Samoans, the Usos and the Rock and stuff. That's why that blood is so important to them, because it's a part of Polynesian culture. Like this, we actually revere our ancestors in that way. So that's why it's so important to them. It's not just a thing to try and win over Western wrestling fans, like, oh, this is this famous family. It's actually like an ingrained part of our culture.
More into it. Wow, I'm learning right now as you speak.
I could go on and on about it, but
So this tattoo, right? You call it a tattoo, or what do you call it?
Tamoko.
Tamoko. Okay. So when did you get it? Like what age?
Just last year, last June. So before that, I was studying all of that, the genealogy, the history of my family.
Okay.
Learning that we came from Taiwan 3,500 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And then coming from Vanuatu to Samoa to Tahiti, then Hawaii, New Zealand, Rapa Nui. Easter Island, you guys call it. It's Spanish, it's a Spanish place as well. And we actually went to South America as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So learning all of that, and then I decided, man, I need to reconnect with this in a physical form. So to us, it's like tattooing this is my ancestors would have got the same thing. So it's like feeling that pain that they felt connects me to them deeper. So not just at a spiritual level or like a genetic level, but like physical as well. Like I felt what you felt, sort of thing.
It probably hurt getting that, right?
It was insane, man. The lips were the hardest. It was like the most intense pain I've ever felt in my life. So like hats off to all the girls that get lip jobs.
Miami.
The women in New Zealand actually get their whole lip covered.
No way.
Like fully blacked out lip, and then the lower part of the chin. And for us, it's like they're the ones that breathe life into people. So that's like the life, the breath of life is what they give to people. So in our culture, it's sort of the opposite of Western culture, where we think women are more important than men. But to Western culture, it's complete opposite, right? Very male dominated. So a lot of
Interesting.
these different cultural nuances. We're very like we stay in New Zealand, we stay in Aotearoa. That not many people around the world know much about our culture. But outside of the Moana movie.
I think that's the reason why I wanted to interview. Actually, one of the first things, because like I was like, wow, this guy is so interesting. I gotta talk to him.
Yeah, it's and we don't have many. Like I think I'm the only Māori wrestler in the world.
I think, right?
Professional. There's one guy, Niwa, in the UK. He's another Māori guy. And then the character Umaga, you guys say. He was actually based off a Māori wrestler.
Really?
But he got injured. Mana, shout out to Mana. But yeah, that whole Polynesian warrior spirit. So that's my job, my responsibility to try and genuinely portray, like genuinely show our culture rather than this like savage stereotype that people think about.
So, for example, when you go out in public with this and all that, tell me what happens? Like, do people get scared or what? Elaborate.
In Japan, they understand because the All Blacks are very famous here, so they understand like the tattooing culture that we have. Usually, day to day, Japanese do not like tattoos.
Yeah.
They think it's associated with mafia and stuff. But
the Y word.
yeah. But they understand the cultural aspect of it, and you probably know the haka.
Haka,
Haka is like a massive thing in our
dance,
culture. So they like that's the Māori people. They're a Pacific Island nation as well. And funnily enough, the reason why I picked up Japanese easier is because it's quite similar to Māori. We say the a, e, I, o, u, ka, ke, kiko, ku. They call a river.
It's like Spanish a little bit.
River is kawa. In Japanese. It's awa in Māori.
Wow.
So it's like quite similar. And then like names for fish, we say ika, and then the ika's their squid. So it's like a lot of these words that my family, my aunties that taught me the history, they were like, yeah, we've probably mingled with them 1,000 years ago, or like spoke with them or traded at least. So that was why it's easier to pick up all of that stuff. But yeah, so probably another reason why the dojo wasn't as much of a stress for me is because we're more culturally similar to Japanese people. So they have the senpai system. We have sort of
senpai kohai.
Senpai kohai. But in matua, so like in our culture, if an older person asks you to do something, and I don't mean old, I mean like someone older than you, you have to do it no matter what. Like, go wash the dishes. Okay. Wow. Yeah, man. So I could speak all day. Like I said, I'm a sociology guy, so I'm all about like culture and how histories and cultures molded throughout time.
In wrestling, what do you like? What's your like ultimate goal? What do you want to do in the future?
Man, everybody's goal should be to be the top guy, and that's my goal, to be the top foreigner here as well. Obviously, I got big competition with guys like David Finlay and Zack Sabre Jr. Like those guys are real hard, but I think I bring a completely different style to them. But man, they've got the new belts now, the IWGP Global Championship.
Oh, that's
seems like a real nice one. I've always wanted the never open weight because I felt like the genealogy of that belt is Ishii. You got your Shibata, your Makabe. Those kind of guys are like, Shibata. Those are the guys that are the reason why I came here. Like, so I'm like, man, I'd love. That's the bout that I've wanted since I first come here. But obviously, the IWGP Heavyweight Championships should be everybody's goal.
The main one.
Ichiban. Ichiban. So like, man, it's going to take a while. Obviously, every time I get a lot of steam, such as now, I get injured and then just bad luck happens, but it's part of the game is that you just keep trying to push towards it, and everybody wants it, man. But who's willing to sacrifice for that? I think I've shown that I'm willing.
I feel like every setback or failure is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It's basically a failure is a blessing in a way, because then you learn more how to progress.
Yeah.
And when you progress, you know what to do, and you are more capable to being the best.
Capable and aware. You're more aware of what can go wrong, so you steer away from that side. But man, it's all a journey. And one thing that Japanese culture loves is they're all about the journey. They don't really agree with the whole Western get really good really quick. It doesn't exist in Japanese culture. It's all the kaizen. small incremental steps. I think. Yeah. Gradual, incremental. And just look at the way they've built the country, man. They didn't. I mean, it was very quick after the war, but society-wise, it was little by little by little by little, and that's just the Japanese way. And then you've got the whole. It was explained to me when I first got here. You've got the Japanese flag, right? It's all about a cycle.
Yeah.
So why do you think they love Sakura season so much? It's because that's the top of the cycle. That's when the rebirth happens, and then the sakura, and then the whole year comes, and then the sakuras die, the blossoms drop off, and then it's like an eternal cycle. And to them, that's
so cool.
In their Shinto religion, that's like part of their, not just their culture, but it's a part of their spirit. Is this whole like divine cycle. Yeah. And then that's why sumo is so popular, because they pay homage to that divine cycle. Everything's cyclical here. It's not like very Western, progressive, positivist. Here is you're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times. And for example, COVID. That's why like they weren't really panicking about everything during COVID, because they know this can't last forever. It'll come back to how things are supposed to be. And then,
I like that mindset a lot. Yeah, I do.
And when you think of their history, like the Mongols tried to invade, and for example the earthquake, Fukushima earthquakes and stuff, crazy. It's like I mean obviously the war. Like there are people that have survived everything that's been thrown at them, so they're like, it'll work out. So that's what I really respect about the culture, and why I chose to live here.
What other wrestlers actually did you look up to that were from New Japan or wherever while growing up, or even now?
Growing up, I loved Ken Shamrock. He was like, cool. throw all the kicks and stuff there, and he was another guy that was from like a poor background like me. So I was like, I could relate to this guy. Outside of wrestling, guys like Mike Tyson were cool. Ooh. But Nagata, Yuji Nagata was my favorite guy. His series with Kurt Angle is what made me oh man, this guy's amazing. And he was a Greco-Roman wrestler. He used to fight in Pride as well. It's like I think when Crow Cop was just knocking everyone out left, right, and center, Nagata was one of the only people that was like, I'll go. Like he wasn't scared of this guy. Obviously there was a skill difference, but man, and he's someone that I see him at the gym. I see him running down the river like almost every day.
A regular, pretty much.
Guys like him. Obviously Shibata was really cool. Ishii, like 10 years ago when I first started really delving into New Japan, was at the top, so it meant a lot to pin him last year. And then you got your old school guys like Fujiwara, Funaki, all of those types of guys. Suzuki as well. Like I love, just like the real MMA striking based wrestlers are the guys that I really liked. Catch wrestling guys as well.
So you really like that type of style? Yeah,
man. That's why I came to Japan. That's why I was more invested in this style rather than the whole entertainment story TV style. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It makes more money, but just who I am as a person, I'm more like the martial artist guy. And I respect that they bring it into their training, they bring it into the matches, and it's treated like a sport. I mean, the king of sports is the tagline for New Japan. So it's like more a sport-based thing.
You're happy then, right?
Yeah, man, I love it here.
I feel like you have to do something that you like and to be happy in life. If not, it's gonna be tough. I
mean, it's hard. Man. Doing something you don't like's hard. Doing something you love's hard. But which hard do you want, man?
You choose the option.
You could be depressed doing what you don't love. So, I mean, be happy doing what you don't love. But and I like the system here. It's really good. There's nobody is here by accident. Put it that way. Nobody's here because of
or by luck or something.
Or nepotism. Nobody's pushed up. You have to grind. Like there's no way around it.
Exactly.
Nobody gets a free ride. IWGP Global, and something about that you could take. I could take it back to New Zealand, have a big show there, have a big match there. Take it back to Australia, maybe.
So would you say that's the global belt is more like a belt that's like how you say, it's more like a sekai, like a worldwide belt. They can bring everywhere, overseas, anywhere.
But also, I mean, not taking away from anything New Japan has done or is doing.
No, it's great.
Prioritize a lot of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. They prioritize a lot of the Japanese guys. I understand it's New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not international pro wrestling, but they're still giving a lot of us chances.
Yeah,
And the IWGP Global Championship is a massive chance for every foreigner. So I guarantee you, like guys like Finlay, guys like Zach, guys like Gabe, those kind of guys are all trying to target this bout because, I mean, I'm probably dumb for announcing it publicly, but you know, that's what my eyes are on.
Oh my God, how is it like wrestling for Wrestle Kingdom? That must be insane. The
Yeah.
Tokyo Dome.
It's massive, man. And when you try and explain to people back home that I'm like, bro, this is like a 70,000 people seated arena.
Yeah.
Like it's a massive baseball arena.
Yeah.
Like it's surreal when you go out there and then, for example, I hit I think it was issue with the tackle last time, and then it's like 5 seconds of silence before you hear the wave because it's so big that the sound takes time to reach you. So I'm like, wow, well, it's like a delayed reaction, but it's like all hits you at once.
Yeah.
So just being in the center of the stadium and then just this whole echo of everything, it's like it's a different environment as opposed to somewhere like Korakuen Hall that you've been there before.
Yeah, it's more like personal, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Korakuen's real, like intimate. You could, and man, people throw. Korakuen Hall, man. It's like because the fans are right there, and they could all feel. It's like they could feel you being hit.
Yeah.
Like they feel you being tucked on the
venue,
chin or something. And then the Korakuen Rumble, you've probably heard when everyone stomps their feet on the ground.
Yes, definitely.
It's like a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's why people love Korakuen too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a whole different mana, like that aura that we're talking about. That mana, it's like a whole different feeling in Korakuen Hall.
Yeah.
It'd probably be similar to somewhere like the Hammerstein Ballroom, something like that,
Hammerstein is like
the ECW one. Yeah, but each sort of place in Japan, each sort of arena has its different vibe. But Tokyo Dome's obviously like the top here.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent to Madison Square, I guess.
Yeah,
Garden
yeah.
in America, New York,
Yeah.
in a way, or like Madison Square Garden, or where else? Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where else is here? Saitama Super Arena.
Oh,
is
I
where
forgot about that.
I'd love to do that, but I think that's more like MMA kickboxing is more associated with that.
Oh my God, you know what arena I like, but I haven't been there yet. Well, actually two. I like Osaka Joe Hall.
Osaka, yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah,
beautiful, and it's big too.
That's another one with a different sort of mana because it's the actual Osaka Castle. The same place. So like, for me, when I'm wrestling there, it's like I'm not just wrestling to the fans, but it's like the emperors of old, the like shogun of old are all watching as well. Yeah, like imagine how many people died just defending that keep. It's like you're wrestling there, man. People who sacrificed their life for this place. Like,
Osaka Joe Hall, yeah. And then also KBS, you know, in Kyoto, the one where there's like it's like a beautiful
stained glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KBS Hall. I don't know. It's in Kyoto, but it's KBS Hall.
Feels like a Catholic church, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
You've wrestled there before, right?
I wrestled there with Fantastica Mania with the CMLL guys.
Oh wow.
So that's why I was Mexican. That's why they book it because it's like a Catholic theme, you know.
Yeah, because I grew up learning Catholicism, like Catholic, and too. But now I'm just like, I guess agnostic. Like I believe in God, but not in a sort of religion.
Yes. Yeah.
But oh wow, this is the first time I ever say that on camera. Okay, and then dude. So I'm like, oh wow, this is so beautiful. I've never seen a wrestling in a thing like this.
Yeah. It feels like a church as well, but
Yes.
I was too busy focusing on because Mexicans sort of all southpaw. They wrestle southpaw, so I was just like, what the hell's he doing? It's so hard. So I was more focused on that than the actual venue. But I remember being there quite a few times.
Beautiful.
Really nice. And I think Stardom and other companies do that same
companies.
thing as well.
Especially Stardom, they go there a lot. Oh my God, there's so many places out here that are so awesome to watch wrestling.
I speak to Japanese people and they're like, oh, you've probably been to more Japanese towns than I have, sort of thing. Just because we're traveling so much to so many different places. But it's beautiful. It's nice.
And what's an underrated spot that no one kind of knows about here? A favorite, I guess it could be anything really. A favorite place in Japan.
Ise Jingu. So you got all the foreigners that come to Japan. They go to places like Asakusa.
Yeah.
They go to Kyoto with the big over things. But Ise is actually the most revered temple in Japan.
What's the name again?
Ise Jingu. ISE. The Japanese people will probably kill me for telling all the Westerners this, but it's a place where the Japanese people go to pray.
Actually go, yeah.
It's like the most respected temple.
Temple?
So it's been around since like probably way before the Meiji era.
Where is it?
Ise province in Mie, near Mie. But
okay.
it's a town famous for like spiny rock lobsters and oysters, which is, I'm a
So good.
Maori from New Zealand. Those are our two delicacies as well.
I love seafood too.
Yeah. So that's sort of like the New Zealand of Japan. So that's why
That's
I love
cool.
going there. And it's like all in a forest. You walk down the main street and there's shops like Starbucks and normal shops, but it's all in old Meiji style. So it's like a
Ooh.
Starbucks in a little Meiji cafe.
Okay.
And then all the wood is exactly the same as how it would be. Those buildings where there's no nails, those sorts of things where it's just like the wood slapped on top of each other. But that's a hidden gem that not many Westerners and not many tourists know of, is Ise. Outside of that, Kumamoto is my favorite. Jeff Cobb's actually part Japanese,
Oh, really?
and his family's from Kumamoto.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the big giant Kumamoto Palace, Kumamoto-jo. That's another temple that's put together without nails.
Oh, wow.
It's just like slotted wood, but it's been standing forever.
Forever.
Yeah, so you just feel like, wow, how many people would have given their lives for this? And you walk through and you're like, there was definitely hundreds of samurai battles here in the past. Like you just feel it.
And so culture-wise, living here, you've lived here for a bit, right?
Yeah, it's in 2016, so this is 8 years now.
Yeah, about 8 years. How is it like the culture difference out here?
For me, it wasn't too bad. Just coming from Japanese Pacific Islanders as well.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't too bad, and my family, my auntie, my cousins are Japanese Māori as well. So it wasn't.
Okay.
Growing up, I was just like, oh, this is cool. So it was easy for me to slot back in. But I see a lot of other Western guys like. Just the whole, they can't understand that Japanese people don't think individualistically.
They think it's a group mindset,
they think what's the greater good, and that's what I'm going to work towards. So like critical thinking and standing out is like a very Western thing. Like I'm the individual, so I'm doing this for myself. But Japanese people, they've got a saying at school: the nail that stands up gets hammered down.
Yeah.
So to them, it's like if you're a nail sticking out, then you're not helping to secure everything else, you know. And it's very hard trying to explain that, especially to Americans, where like individual liberty is like the main thing
and
about
diversity too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's homogenous here, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to be the same, you know.
Yeah.
So, but to the homogeneity thing, a lot of Americans think, oh, that's racist. Like,
No,
it's not. It's not racist. You're missing the point of what they're trying to accomplish. Is they're trying to make sure everyone's together. If your country has been through as much as their country has been through, you'd be the same. Trust me.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That's for sure. And that's why I come here, because I like the difference, man. I need it.
Expanding.
I just love. I come here for that main reason. Like, the difference in culture is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I mean, I like it with every culture. Like, for example, Oleg, the new Kazakh guy. Kazakh guy. I mean, I've never really hung out with Eastern European people before. I mean, it's new. It's cool learning their culture, knowing their values, knowing how their people think. Same with I studied a lot of Chinese in university as well. Like, culture I think is like the main thing in human. As a human, culture's like, if there was a game called Humans, I think culture would be the what's the word? Currency. The currency of that game would be culture. I think. That's just me, though. That's my opinion.
So you're open-minded like me, pretty much.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's
good.
like, I like the word plurality rather than diversity. Just plurality acknowledges all of the subtle differences between cultures. Yeah, man. I can speak about this stuff all day, man. This is my type of stuff, man.
Yeah, this is a lot. What's next for Henare? What's next for you?
Mine is recovering, so I can't really move my fingers here. So the tendons are there, so I've got a few months off. Get in better shape. This is the longest I've had off in 3 years, so just taking this time to rest and
Wrestlers have it hard.
Detox. Yeah, man. And throughout the whole COVID period as well, it's been real hard because New Zealand and Japan were the two most locked down countries in the world.
Yeah, it was.
So if you wanted to come here, you had to do 2 weeks in a single room. You weren't allowed out. You had to get tested 3 times a day.
I think it was just last year, the same time that it opened up. I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And then everyone came flooding in. All the
Yeah,
foreigners.
I was one of the first ones.
Yeah. But then New Zealand was the same as well. It was even worse in New Zealand. We were like, I wouldn't go as far as to say it was draconian because we were the lowest COVID numbers in the world. But it was hard, man. It was like really you weren't allowed outside your room. Maybe 15 minutes a day you were allowed outside your room, but made me mentally tougher, you know.
Your favorite wrestlers, but let's say like Japanese female wrestlers or like Joshi wrestlers, or I don't know which.
Man, it's people.
What's your favorite?
Overseas people don't realize how famous Joshi wrestlers are here, especially the old old Zenjo, Zenjo. So good, like people like Akira Hokuto. Like Asia Kong, like that old school generation, they are universally known in Japan.
They're badass.
Like, like you'd meet someone in the countryside and they're like, oh, do you know Akira Hokuto? Yeah. Imagine how hard it would have been as a woman in the early days to try break out as wrestlers. But then that opened the door to the generations we see now, like the Maikas, the Sayaidas and Azumis. They're like amazing.
Julia, all those.
Yeah, man. She was my travel buddy the last few years.
Oh, wow.
We were doing like the America and UK shows together. But she's just one of the boys, man.
That's so cool.
Don't give them drinks. They'll outdrink all the guys.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Thank you. So here in Japan, wrestling is seen like a sport. Right? Yeah. I've seen that when I go to shows here, and like in general, people see it. And they say, "Oh, fighter, game," and like terms like that, which is like a sport. Yeah.
Machi. Yeah. It's just treated with a lot more respect here, and it's not digging on the American side of things because it's all cultural. The same with Mexico. It's like sometimes it's treated as a sport, sometimes it's entertainment, and then you get the middle. Like I'd say in New Zealand, rugby is the same. Like,
oh my God,
it's entertainment, but it's treated like, wow, this is a spiritual, cultural thing. Yeah. But I think it all just comes down to the respect that Japanese people have. Like they're not trying to belittle anyone. You'd see crossing the street, there'll be a guy with a little light in his hand showing you where to go. It's like they don't care what you do, as long as you do it 100%, you'll be respected for what you do, and it's another positive thing from living in Japan. Yeah. But yeah, I love how they treat it. Plus, obviously, the having the base in mixed martial arts, having the base in wrestling and kickboxing and stuff. Japanese understand it. Yeah.
Wow. We've talked a lot.
Yeah, I think I could go on, man.
Yeah. Holy moly.
I'm usually the quiet guy on TV, but it's like I have a lot to say. I just don't know who to say it with. But you're open-minded enough.
Yeah.
I like wrestling in Japan, which is why I stay here most of the time. But you see all the other foreigners go to America or the UK. But man, they've also opened up the Asia Pacific. So they've got Thailand, Taiwan show next month as well, which is huge because all of these countries all working together. Imagine the populations in Southeast Asia. Massive. So if wrestling blows up there, man,
oh my gosh.
Huge. And I love Thailand. Thailand's my favorite place to go in the world, outside of New Zealand. Yes. But it's just like Muay Thai, everything. They're setting up quite well there. I think Zach's going there. ELP, I believe, is there as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. And I'd love, long-term wise, man, I'd love to get some Pacific wrestling going on. So imagine a big show in Samoa. You'll have you have the entire country in that building. For example, like Hawaii Pacific Pro Wrestling back in the day when Ata Maivea's family, the Rock's mum's family, used to promote events there as well. Peter Maivia.
She's in the Hall of Fame now, I guess.
Is she?
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah, she got inducted.
Oh, wow.
She got inducted, I think. What's her name again?
Ata Maivia.
Yeah, she did. She did get inducted.
My business advisor is actually her nephew. So I'm like, wow.
Okay.
People don't know the Rock grew up in New Zealand for like a large part of his life up until he was like 15 before moving to America. We're from the same hometown of Greyland, Auckland, New Zealand.
So would that be like a dream match for you, The Rock?
Oh man, yeah. I think he's way above wrestling now, apart from WrestleMania main events. Yeah. But I mean, I was actually, before I got injured, on for a casting call for the Moana movie, the live action movie. So there's a bunch of Pacific Islanders. The casting call was in California, and I think his family's his family's company is the one helping to produce that movie. Well, Utta's like one of the heads of that. Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but very well-known family in the Pacific. Doesn't matter where you go, Tonga,
Everyone's
Samoa, Hawaii. Everybody knows the
Not
Seuli.
just,
Maia family.
Maybe,
They've been around for a while, man, a long time.
And what other dream matches would you like? Who would you like to face in the future?
Man, all the Pacific Island wrestlers, man. It's massive because like I mean Haku. I was at a show with him when I first debuted. The Rock's massive. The Samoan family's massive. I mean, we're all lucky in New Japan when we've got the Tongans and then me the Māori, the token Māori. But yeah, getting more Māori wrestlers around the world will be a massive goal of mine as well. In terms of people, man, there's so many like Claudio, Miro, those kind of guys. I don't know who's in the WWE.
Castagnoli,
yeah.
Cesaro, formerly.
Cesaro, yeah.
Cesaro.
I'm not too clued up on the European scene, but I'm sure there's a lot of guys there that'll be massive. The UK has already had their golden age. I think Australia is the next big territory that's going to start booming. They had an elimination chamber a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stars coming through.
Exactly. Any final words to people out there?
No, I was on a roll when I was before I got injured. So imagine. What's the word? Expect even more when I come back. And the rest of my head will probably be done in the next few years, as well as getting my
Oh my God, more
chieftain. My chieftain. The same as the Rock's grandfather. Yeah, the same.
Oh.
He had the legs done as well. Yeah.
That's so cool. And hopefully, one time, I think big. Okay, we get the whole United Empire an interview.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, the whole group.
That
That'll be insane.
They'll all be keen, man. And I think most of us are here most of the time.
Most of the time.
I think Akira is moving to Japan this week.
Yeah.
After the tour's done, and I'm here. But man, I'm keen. Or you could come out with a dinner with the United Empire, and we could film a dinner at some point, maybe.
Like a what's it called? Like a docu something. Documentary. Or
Yeah. Oh, man, we could do it, man. Okan's got us doing the live gaming. That guy's insane, man. Yeah. They're just sending me videos of him last night. He's just like drunk out of his mind. Just like,
the drinking culture here.
yeah, man. And the thing about Oka is he's got all of these millionaire sponsors that he brings, and like he knows that they don't care about money, so he just orders like 50 plates and alcohol and stuff. Yo, I'd have too much shame to do that. Yeah, he's the guy, man. He's insane. When you let him be Oka, he's just amazing. And he actually saved a girl from being raped a few years ago. And he got a plaque from the police office saying that you're a hero to the city.
You got an honorable mention.
Yeah, Tokyo gave him a certificate saying you're a protector of Tokyo.
Almost like a key to the city, almost, right?
Kind of. It was like a certificate. And he went to the police chief's office, and they all took a photo with him, and they all shook his hand. And it was like, wow.
Dude, I did not know that.
Yeah, it made the news, man.
Wow.
He's like an actual star in Japan for saving a girl's life. There was a little girl outside of a train station, and Oka was walking. He just got pancakes from McDonald's, and he was just walking down the street, and then he saw it, saved this girl, and she started crying. The guys arrested the man, and then to cheer the girl up, he gave her some pancakes. And then it made the headlines. Local wrestler saves girl, then gives her pancakes. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, like crazy.
He's a guy, man. When he's in his element, he's just a hero.
And dude, he looks scary, intimidating.
Yeah,
right? Like, dude,
he's a 10-sport champion, like judo, jiu-jitsu, sambo, does all kickboxing. He's like a killer, an actual killer. And he's just well known for saving this little girl.
Yeah, that's the interview I want to do now. Now I want to talk to him now too. Whoa. I mean, and you're intimidating looking too. Like holy shit, if I saw you in a back alley somewhere, I'll be like, wow.
Outside the ring, I'm chill. I'm chill, man.
Yeah.
We usually sign off on Māori. Tūtiri whakamaua kia tina. Homie, huia, tai kia.